sat in his heart.
Man from this episode of Doctor Who, is that you?
I mean, it begs the question, like, what did you carve out his soul for? If you're just gonna sit in his heart, do you know what I mean? It's like that's like knocking down a house, and then like moving into the house next door and just leaving a big empty space.
Is it like that at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've carved out his soul and sat in his heart. It's like, what? Yeah, but why didn't you just carve out his heart then and just sit in that?
Well,
Or it sounds as if he's just sitting on the heart, because he hasn't taken out the heart, and the soul is gone for some reason. The soul has to be missing. Is that for his luggage? Is that for his bags?
Maybe he's got like several hat boxes that he needs to put in the,
Yeah, like Donna.
the soul container. Yeah, like Donna.
Cold weather. I've got to be prepared.
I have saved a small revelation for this podcast.
Oh, really?
Because we talk about Doctor Who on this podcast and about Stephen Moffat. I watched a 2-hour-long YouTube video the other day. Can you guess which one it is?
Go on.
Sherlock is shit, and here's why. I watched it. I caved, finally, and I watched it.
Well,
I mean, yeah, it's kind of right, isn't it? It's Stephen Moffat is kind of shit, really.
Yeah.
It's H. Bomber Guy does make a very good point, but everything that Stephen Moffat's ever done appears to also involve both his wife and mother-in-law, which does make you think.
Yeah.
Maybe if he tried to get a job when neither of those things were the case, maybe it'd be slightly more difficult for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, standalone episodes are what he's best at.
Yeah.
He's not good as a showrunner.
Isn't he really funny as well?
Stephen Moffat.
No. H. Bomber Guy.
He is quite funny, actually. Yeah.
Oh, you thought I forgot about Jekyll, didn't you, Stephen? Just brings up this fucking ancient show that he did that no one remembers. It's holy shit. Yeah, I like H. Bomber Guy. Go watch H. Bomber Guy, folks. He's really good.
Yeah. If you can spare like 10 hours to watch one video, go and check him out.
It's very long form. But anyway, we are talking about Season 2, Episode 3 of Doctor Who, Tooth and Claw. And it was written by Russell T Davies, and it was directed by Eurus Lynn. That's a great name. And it was starring David Tennant, Billy Piper, Pauline Collins, Ian Moore, and a bunch of Scottish people that I've met.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Hang on, are there only like 10 actors in Scotland? Is that?
Well, there's a sort of a Deadpool of them. You know, our little souls are plucked from, and just give him a go. But yeah, they're most of them are lovely. I won't say the ones that aren't. Do you have an opening statement?
I do. This is an episode which, on the surface of it, is very good, and then you start to think about it, and you realise that there are a lot of inconsistencies and things that don't quite make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Scotland! An interesting
Wow,
episode of secret societies, conspiracies, and an alien wolf, and all criticisms will be ignored because it's Scotland!
Oh, good. I can't wait for this.
No, I'm kidding on.
Right. I would like to start by addressing several things that don't really make sense.
Okay.
For example,
Yep.
Empire of the Wolf, right? Okay, yeah, that's his plan, is to become the queen, or whatever bullshit's going on.
Yeah.
But what's the end game there to just be the queen, and then be the queen forever? What?
Yeah, we don't know how long the bodies last. Do the bodies still age when the wolf is in the bloodstream? And you know, Britain as an empire is declining at this point, and the First World War isn't that far away. So the wolf is going to have like a shit time. He's going, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But maybe the wolf's species has access to time travel, so maybe they know what's going to happen, and he's going to prevent it. I don't know. But yeah.
Also, why? What? Right. If you're going to imbue the wood in your house with mistletoe oil or whatever it is, which right. I can understand the idea that the wolf is somehow allergic to mistletoe, or I mean, that's another line that got me, or at least it thinks it is. Right. If you're going to train an animal, you need to give the animal like a treat after it's done something that you want.
Yeah.
But the werewolf seems to only commit carnage. And if that's what you want, then great. Yeah, give it some carnage and then move the mistletoe away from it. I don't think you can teach an animal to be afraid of something when it isn't actually going to be affected by that thing.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Well, maybe just like get hit with mistletoe.
Yeah, but then why wouldn't it? But then if the mistletoe is stationary, why wouldn't the wolf just burst through the doors into the library?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also, why are the doors to the library oiled with mistletoe, but for some reason the doors to the only weapon that can kill the wolf are not oiled with mistletoe?
And why aren't the doors themselves just for the entire house? Just, people keep coming into this fucking house. Why aren't the doors themselves to the Torchwood estate just lined with mistletoe? Why isn't like every door in the house? In case someone wants to hide or something like that.
Yeah. Also, how do they know that the gem is going to be perfectly cut at this point? Queen Victoria's been getting it randomly cut down every year for 20 years or whatever since her husband died. But how do they know the gem is currently at the right state of size?
Yeah, because he just kept sort of doing it over and over again, and it was never quite right. It's like, did he only die after he? I don't know how Lord Albert died in real life. How did he die?
I think it was something very simple, like influenza or something. I think he just got a cold and then died.
The diamond was the right shape, so he went outside with his hair wet, and it's like, my time has come.
But even if that were the case, Queen Victoria has been having it cut down since Albert died.
Yeah, so maybe he. I love that idea. It's like, what are you doing? It was perfect, you fool! And she's cutting it down. Oh, lovely, lovely. No! You're gonna fuck. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, she's dead now.
Right. Those are some other things, and also there's another thing that I've completely forgotten. Also, they refer to Rose as a child. In this episode, she's 20.
Yeah.
As in the Victorian times, wouldn't 20 have been considered quite old?
Yeah. They'd be
wouldn't that be sort of middle-aged?
Surprised that you're alive at this point.
Yeah.
Who's giving out karate lessons in 1879 Scotland? Where did these fuckers learn this shit?
Slightly went to, I don't know, China and learned kung fu and then came back again.
Sorry, so their plan is to go to China, learn kung fu, come back, capture a house for the... It doesn't... now I'm starting to think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Because why is it this house? But why does the Queen have to stop here?
I'm presuming that's not just one house in Scotland.
No.
Between the border and Edinburgh. I'm presuming there are several houses. Or is she going to Balmoral? Is that where she's going?
Yeah, because that would make sense.
Yeah, she's going to Balmoral, presumably. So I'm presuming there's more than one house between the Scottish border and Balmoral.
Yeah, so there's a tree on the line that can't be moved for some reason. When did they?
Hell, that's a tree. That.
When did they find that out?
Jeff, sorry, better stop the trains.
Did she get on the train, get to the tree, and then be like, oh shit, well let's just take a carriage and not just wait? Or did someone shout, oh, there's a tree on the line, tell that to the stationaries at London, and then it's like it gets back to them. There's a tree on the line, and it took them about 8 hours to find that out, but somehow it's not been moved since then. It's like, what?
Also, I have two problems with restraints in this story. Problem one: why is there a chain attached to the wall in the basement?
That's a good point.
Because if you're going to attach a chain to a wall, presumably you want to attach some kind of livestock to it, be it a cow for milking or a horse just to be like, I'll come back and ride you to the shops and back later, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So why would that be in the basement, where you're going to have a hard time getting a horse or a cow or anything to go into a cold, dark, wet, smelly room? The cow and the horse, it wants to be in a field. Do you know what? I don't understand why there would be a chain attached to a wall. And also, why is the wolf man in a cage when He shows no desire to get out of the cage
Yeah.
when he's a man, and then when he's a wolf, he very easily gets out of the cage.
That's a good
What's the
point.
point in having the cage other than like an intimidation tactic, maybe?
Maybe, but that doesn't make sense. Because it seems as if like, him and the brethren are together. So why would they cage him? It's like,
Yeah.
this body was stolen for my cultivation by the brethren. It's like, okay, but they put you in a cage.
Yeah.
Are you not allowed? What if are you like a child to them? Is it your bedtime? Is it what? I don't understand myself.
Also, there's some red hot bullshit in this.
Go on.
When the master of the house, whose name I've completely forgotten, the Scottish bloke,
Sir
says to his
Robert.
wife- Yes, Sir Robert. He says to his wife, "You go downstairs with the maids. I must defend Her Majesty." What kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah,
Go and be with your wife. Christ, there's a
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
werewolf running around.
I know.
Jesus. Also, by the way,
My wife,
I will-
my
I-
wife will remember me with honour.
yeah, I chose not to get this shield that might prolong my life. Because on the wall, there was a shield and 2 swords. He picked up 1 sword. Out of all the options available to him, there were several options better than that.
If I was his wife, I'd be looking at him like, why didn't he just pick up the shield? Jesus Christ, no honour in that, is there?
Or why didn't he just go into another room and wait for the wolf to try and get in? Why didn't he try and bait the wolf
Yeah,
away?
what is with the the fucking heroic sacrifices in this? It's like, it was first the soldier guy. He was like, you're a traitor to the crown. It's like, is this the time, really? So we're all about to die, and you're questioning that. Honestly,
I would like to say, there's a quote in this episode. You want weapons? We're in a library. Books, the greatest arsenal in the world. Arm yourself. I am extremely tired of that quote because I have seen it in every library I have ever been in. And I that really annoys me because it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Knowledge is power and that whole thing. But also, maybe a gun might help. A gun that shoots silver bullets might help against a werewolf.
Would silver
Slightly more
bullets
than a
work?
paperback.
Because it seems like an infection of the blood rather than just an actual wolf.
Well, silver is antibacterial, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
So maybe if you just stab him loads, eventually the infection goes.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That's a good point. I sincerely doubt that Rose and the Doctor would be able to speak so freely in front of Queen Victoria. I mean, you could barely do that now, right? And we're talking about 1879, where they basically killed you for
looking at the Queen wrong.
yeah, for sneezing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and yeah, it's a bit strange.
Also, it's not really to do with the episode of Doctor Who. It's kind of to do with Queen Victoria. Chloe and I are watching a different documentary to the one I mentioned in the other podcast. Check that out on Sunday.
Ooh,
We were watching a documentary about Queen Victoria and her family and all that. Apparently, Queen Victoria was a right cock.
yeah, I'd imagine
Like,
so.
to her kids and her family and stuff. She was just like constantly belittling and diminishing them and refused to speak with them and all this horrible stuff. Yeah, really cruel to them and their family and everything.
You know, funnily enough, if someone says to me, "Oh yeah, that monarch was really nice," I'd find that very hard to believe in any context.
I do know a bit what you mean. Yeah.
You know, because they're not really you're not incentivized to be nice in that situation like, at all. You know. And I'm a big believer in
There's this,
your environment shapes you, and if you're just
Yeah,
you get everything you want whenever you want it, you're probably not going to be too considerate about other people's feelings.
No, you're not. But that's The Crown season 4 came out yesterday, and Chloe and I watched it yesterday, and
I watched it as well. Yeah,
it's really good, isn't it?
it's really fucking good.
Yeah, it's really
Gillian Anderson as Thatcher. Holy shit.
good. Yes, really.
She
good.
is so good. I mean, fuck Thatcher, but she's
fuck Margaret Thatcher,
yeah,
but-
she's so good as her.
Yes, and but the thing it reminds me of is Prince Edward. There's like a bit where he's having dinner with the Queen, and he says, "People are always going to want me. I'm going to get into Oxford or Cambridge. They're always going to want me. It looks good for them."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just get fucked, you dickhead.
Yeah. Do you know what it's funny because, you know, in that show they made it clear about the sort of divide between Thatcher and the royals, because she was like, you know, a shopkeeper's daughter sort of thing, and like she was like sort of embarrassing herself by like showing up for dinner early and stuff like that, and you know, and they were such snobbish twats.
Oh, that is utterly somehow we've moved on to talking about the Crown now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of relevant.
Yeah, I suppose so.
We're going to come to breakfast, lunch tomorrow in their pajamas.
By the way, how good is Tobias Menzies' Prince Philip voice?
Very good. Very
good.
Yeah. Very good.
We're playing parlour games, relaxing. She can't even relax.
I know. See, because my voice is sort of high, any posh voice with a sort of strain that I do just sounds like Thatcher.
Go on.
Your Majesty.
That did get me. How like the two prime ministers we've had a lot of insight into, bizarrely, have been Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher on the Crown. And Winston, right, John Lithgow fucking nailed it as Winston Churchill.
He was so good.
Incredible. It is fog, ma'am. It will lift. But like, they both have been very sort of not in love with the Queen, but like Winston Churchill would like sort of kiss her hand and bow and stuff.
Yeah.
And Margaret Thatcher does that weird going down on one knee thing. Your Majesty.
Your Majesty. so if she's taking a shit. I mean, it's because I've looked at, because I had to compare the real Thatcher with Gillian Anderson. I did it with Meryl Streep as well, and she doesn't always she wasn't always strained, maybe in later life, but a lot of the times it was just like, the right honourable gentleman would rather the poor were poorer, provided the rich were. It's more like that. It's less Majesty like that. Have you seen Meryl Streep as Margaret Thatcher?
I haven't seen Margaret Thatcher.
She was so fucking good. Like not many Americans can get English accents right, but she. I suppose that's quite a sweeping statement. I don't know many Americans, but most American actors that I've seen struggle to get a British accent right, and she did so fucking good as Margaret Thatcher. But yeah,
you know who else? Another American that did a fucking brilliant English accent.
Go on.
John Lithgow as Winston Churchill.
He did.
Such a stunning sort of. I mean, his performance in it. Bizarrely, he lost out on Golden Globe or an Emmy or something for his performance in The Crown to Hugh Laurie as
House.
What's his name in The Night Manager?
Oh.
Which utterly blew me away. I was like, really? I mean, he was all right.
Yeah, I mean,
John Lithgow was amazing.
He's not what I remember from that show.
No.
I mean, he's in it, and he's a baddie in it. But yeah, it's like, I forgot about that. Remember we did that, didn't we, for our podcast?
Yeah, precisely. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah. But right, I've got a question about Doctor Who. Coming away from The Crown season 4 for a second.
Into British pop culture there. Sorry.
Right. Out of the classic Hammer movie monsters, we've had zombies and werewolves so far in Doctor Who.
Yep.
What is the next classic monster?
Okay, let me think.
Because there's the Mummy on the Orient Express in about 5 seasons of time.
That's a wee while, yeah.
Yeah. Vampires? We got any vampires in Doctor Who? Witches, yes.
The Carrionites, yeah.
With Martha and them. What's after that?
Oh, Satan!
Are there any vampires in Doctor Who?
Satan! Yeah, Satan shows up.
If Satan counts as a Hammer movie monster.
Well,
you've got like Dracula, Wolfman, Satan.
Yeah, okay, fine. Fine. Let me think. It might just be witches next, but I don't know if there's one in between.
Are there any like vampires in Doctor Who?
Yeah, vampires in Venice.
Oh yeah, of course there are.
But they're not. But they're not vampires. They're fish people. Which Doctor Who can never resist, can they? It's like
never resist fish.
No, they're not this. They're aliens.
Oh, it's a cheeky bait and switch. Hey, Danny, did you notice Stephen Moffat's being clever? Bloody hell!
Woo! Stephen Moffat came out of a hole in the ground in Paisley and then made it his mission to destroy all British culture.
Oh, I love that because it's so bizarrely accurate.
H. Mark, I mean, really interesting. It's like, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde was the only other thing that Britain had in Western canon. Can we just stop giving him stuff to ruin, please? He got Dracula as well. I mean,
he did.
Dracula wasn't as bad, but it was a lot. You know it's Stephen Moffat when there's so much cleverness in it.
Yeah, I didn't like Dracula that much. I liked the first episode. I loved the first episode.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm sure it's still up on the RSS feed.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
But I didn't like the other bits.
No, and then they go to England in the modern day. It's like, what? And then there's that
Come on, Steve.
there's that weird sort of burning of that girl, and there's a guy that looks like Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
Yeah.
Which and then it's like, no, you're not. It's not the sun you're allergic to. It's just stories that you've convinced yourself of. Okay.
It's what's the and of course let's not forget the classic Mark Gatiss bit where he's
yeah, he's always in it because why not?
Where he's doing a crossword in the car. Ah, yes, a
6-letter word for a blue sky. Lord Dracula. That's how he fills in the whole crossword. I just love that.
Mark Gatiss is in everything that Stephen Moffat writes, isn't he? He's just in
Yes.
it. Of course he is. He's just there. Do you know what I mean? Regardless. He was in the last episode that Stephen Moffat wrote for this show. He played the
Was he?
He played the First World War soldier who is somehow connected to Lethbridge Stewart.
Oh Christ, yeah.
Just because to connect that, why not?
Because he played that other bloke, didn't he? The 10,000 volt chess or whatever it was.
Yeah, he did.
Live chess.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he also played the guy who is old and then he becomes young and then he becomes that monster thing.
Oh, from the Lazarus
The
episode.
Yeah, Professor Lazarus. That's his actual name.
It's like if you take... There are some names, words, phrases in pop culture where if you take them out of the context in which they're set, they become ridiculous. Professor Lazarus is perhaps one of them.
Yeah.
another one.
Star Wars. Isolate that from
Yeah.
what you're thinking. Isolate that from the Death Star and Han Solo and stuff.
That's right.
It
Just
becomes a bit shit,
Star
really, doesn't it?
Wars. Wow. I mean, it's one war. It's not really it's like one war throughout 3 films. So I don't know what the
Yeah,
wars
and it's
are.
not
about.
really about stars.
No, it's just
It happens in space.
It happens in space.
Planet War
You don't even
would have
see
been a
us-
better name.
You don't even see stars in it. It's not one
Precisely,
star in it.
precisely. Kick off, Dan. Go on. You tell George
Fucking-
Lucas. Write a sternly worded tweet to Lord Dukas.
Lord Dukas. We should do. We should do. We're just doing admin now. We should just. We should do the Star Wars trilogies.
We should, yeah. There are 3 trilogies, aren't there?
3 trilogies now,
Oh, fuck good.
and there's
fucking
another
stuff.
one coming out.
Oh, fuck off. Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Star Wars movies.
Yeah, there are 9, aren't there?
Yeah.
Because there's
The classic ones.
from the 70s and the 80s. Then there's the prequels. Then there's the sequels.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's after?
I-
What's after the sequels? The more
the
sequels.
Mandalorian? I don't know.
No. I mean,
When is the Mandalorian set?
the Mandalorian is set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Oh, of course it is.
Anyone knows that.
Thing is, I absolutely love the Mandalorian soundtrack. I have not watched the Mandalorian.
It's really good.
But the Mandalorian soundtrack, not soundtrack, sorry, the theme tune came up on my Spotify because I listen to a lot of like, what's the word? Like theme songs and music from films. I listen to a lot of that while I'm writing, while I'm working.
Yeah.
And so the Mandalorian theme song came up, and it's a bop.
It is about.
It's a because it sounds almost like a sort of like a kind of thing that would play before a boxing match in a weird way.
Yeah,
That's the vibe I get from it, and it's just really, really weirdly good.
it is. Fucking hell, we have diverted so much from Doctor Who this episode.
Right, let's bring it back to
To Baby Yoda to werewolves.
They both have ears. There you go.
There's a bit in the Mandalorian where they talk about bone broth, and werewolves are kind of dogs, and dogs chew on bones.
There you go.
There we go.
nailed that.
See the haemophilia thing with the royal
Yes.
disease. I mean, a lot of people back then had haemophilia,
Yeah.
so I don't know how that makes any sense at all. Like the what's his name? Nicholas II's son in Russia.
Yeah, Tsar Nicholas II, yeah.
Yeah, he had haemophilia, so unless Queen Victoria met him at some point and gave him a nip, I don't know how that would be even possible.
Because it wasn't that was like the whole thing about Nicholas II's family during the Russian Revolution, wasn't it? Was that there was that one? I mean, I've read this in a book about 15 years ago, so fuck knows if I'm gonna remember it now. But
Yeah.
something about how the daughter of Nicholas II was like shot, but potentially it wasn't fatal, and so like 20 years later in Russia, you had loads of these women coming out saying, "Oh no, I'm Princess such and such,"
Yeah.
and they were saying, "I'm this person, I'm this person," and it turned out that no, actually none of them were.
And they made
she had haemophilia, and it was all this whole thing.
They made a film about it.
Did
They made a Disney film called Anastasia.
Is that what that film's? I've never
That's
seen
what
it. Is that what that
and
film's about?
and it's the exiled Russian princess who comes back and reasserts the monarchy. So it's like,
I don't think reasserting the monarchy is something that
no,
actually seems
the
particularly want.
Nicholas II's
Certainly
monarchy
not
was
something
so
that-
shit. The Romanovs were utter arseholes. It was literally serfdom. I'm not saying that fucking the Bolsheviks were good or anything like that, but it's like they were so bad. Everyone was so shit.
God, Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He plays Rasputin in Anastasia.
Yeah, Rasputin's in it, and he's a weird fucking magician that was betrayed by the royals, and then he just killed them all. It wasn't.
Kelsey Grammer's in it.
It wasn't the massive economic repression that made people rise up. It was Rasputin's magic that made them do it. Holy shit!
Well, there we
go.
What a Jesus!
Right, here's a question.
One of the monks, he knocks somebody out and then he hisses. Now, I've never met a wolf, so I can't confirm this, but I'm fairly sure that wolves do not, in fact, hiss.
No, they don't.
So what's the hissing about there, monkey boy?
He's I don't know, maybe like snakes.
Maybe he does.
Also, right, they shove that crate, the cage containing. This body was bottom 10 miles from here.
That's
they
not
shove
bad.
The crate
That
into the,
that wasn't bad.
Thank you. Thanks. They shove the cage into the basement of the house at the start, and they dramatically rip off the canvas, and it snap cuts to the wife, and she's screaming. Well,
Surely
it
it's
is
just a
bloke.
guy, yeah.
It is just a guy at the start.
Oh
my God,
a peasant! A peasant! Ah!
I'm so rich and wealthy that even looking at a peasant is horrendous to me.
A normal human being! Ah!
That reminds me of that joke from Horrible Histories. Is that some kind of peasant joke that I'm too rich to understand?
Oh god, funny. Yeah, Torchwood is an anagram of Doctor Who.
Yes, it is.
Just in case anyone didn't know that, I'm sure every fucker knows that at this point.
I genuinely didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, no, I've never
Really?
connected those dots before, genuinely.
Oh, nice. You'd think the Doctor would make a bit of a bigger deal about Queen Victoria's cut, considering the implications if it's an actual werewolf bite.
Yep.
Instead, they just stroll off and they're like, "Yep, could be. Yep, the head of state of Britain could be a fucking alien werewolf." It's like, probably want to avoid that. Maybe
We probably want to check that out, David Tennant. Can we go and have a look, please, mate?
get fucking Thatcher to check in the weekly meetings. Your Majesty, are you a fucking werewolf?
I have noticed, Your Majesty, that it is a full moon this evening. Now, this lady is not returning, but will you be turning into a werewolf? Yeah, that's what Margaret Thatcher would say.
Yep, of course. Quote word for word.
Yep, word for word, and then she'd say something offensive.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Yep, definitely. I love
I mean, we right.
I love how in The Crown she's like, "Women are not tended to be suited to higher office." I just want some guy in the room sort of looking at her, really confused, in a sort of weird sort of a joke.
Sorry, ma'am. You're the Prime Minister.
You're the Prime Minister. I know. Yeah, but so how...
What's going on there?
You're not going to connect the dots, are you? Fuck's sake. Holy shit. I don't know whether she actually said that, but if she said that, holy fuck. Can't right. Moving on. I can't even process. My brain is too. That's too big brain for me to understand.
What Margaret Thatcher's political beliefs?
Margaret
I don't think
Thatcher's.
anybody really understand them.
Margaret Thatcher's self-misogyny. I don't understand that, but there you go.
We'll have to invent a time machine and go back and ask her.
Yeah.
And then say, while we're here, why did you institute such bizarre, cruel policies? Why was that the choice?
Why do you hate so much? God, it's been a rant. It's really been a rant about Thatcher and the Crown, and
it has a bit.
And
We've
Star
talked a fair bit
Wars.
about Doctor Who, and I feel like we have kind of nailed down the key things about this episode. But we have also talked a bit about the Crown.
Yeah, you like this episode, Danny? It's in Scotland. What?
One thing I did like was that Rose's first accent that she did sounded exactly like you, Dan.
Fuck off!
Hootsmon.
I love how David Tennant was like, no, don't do that, don't. It's like, yes, don't, you fuck. Don't bother. Stop. There is no need for you to be doing that, okay? Jesus. Fucking, oh, God.
Right. What have you got a closing statement, Cocker?
Yeah, Scottish accents.
And that's what we're going with, is it?
No. Again, stop.
Oh, hang on, before we do closing statements, quick question.
Oh.
Is the Torchwood thing ever addressed again? Do we ever actually see the line connected?
Of course
Or
we
is it
do.
just taken to be implied that
Remember,
that's the same Torchwood?
that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about the end of this series. At the end of this series, they go to Torchwood.
Oh, of course, yeah, that Torchwood. Okay, yeah.
What? No, the other one. No.
Well, no, because there's that Torchwood, and then that gets dissolved, and then Captain Jack starts
Yeah,
running
so-
around in Cardiff, doesn't he?
Yeah, so like the Torchwood that we see in the Army of Ghosts and Doomsday is like notoriously like imperialist, and it's like want to bring back the British Empire and all that. So it's very sort of fitting with Queen Victoria's values. And then
I suppose weirdly, yeah, that is right.
yeah, and then it gets dissolved. It's like 2 tons. That's an imperial term, by the way. Torchwood refuses to go metric. It's like shit like that.
It's like that fucking disgusting Jacob Rees-Mogg memo. Like, I will only use hectares, inches, and feet. Will you, Minister for the fucking 18th century? Jesus Christ.
I know he does. He looks like he'd be walking in like London in a really poorly lit and quality photo with a top
Yes,
hat
he
on,
does.
doesn't he?
Yep.
But yeah, I want to quote David Mitchell about Victorian times, when he did that scene with in that Mitchell and Webb look, where Queen Victoria is with the US ambassador, and she's been gifted is it eucalyptus trees?
Yes, I think it is.
Eucalyptus tree. It's like, Prime Minister, can you smell cum? What? Can you smell cum? There's an incredibly strong smell of cum. Your Majesty, stop this. Stop this now! So, I beg your pardon. I apologise, Your Majesty, but the entire tether of this conversation is completely out of keeping with contemporary moorings. What do you mean? It's not Victorian. It's a perfectly valid observation. Look at the funny wheels on that penny farthing is a perfectly valid observation for a Victorian, Your Majesty. Don't linden trees smell like cum? Is the sky falling in on our heads? To be absurd. Do you know how hot I am under this hat with this beard, this big Victorian beard, Your Majesty? I am boiling. I am covered in starch, and I am boiling, and I can barely move at home for little vases on stands and portraits of ill children praying. And what has been the point? What really has been the point of the last 50 years of my being a Victorian. If Queen Victoria herself is suddenly going to sail over and ask me, can I smell cum? It was linden trees, not eucalyptus trees.
Oh, I see.
I had a lot of saliva in my mouth trying to get that one to get that out there, but yeah, there you go.
Well, thanks for that, Danny. Have we got a closing statement?
Yes. Again, stop making decent villains only to have them thrown away like last night's curry.
I mean, yeah. This episode could have done with just about half an hour's more thought. I feel like there are several things that he's saying, hang on a sec, hang on. Why isn't all the wood in the house oiled with this special anti-werewolf oil?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of this, or the tree had to be get from a different place, or there was a fire and we had to replace them. They could have fixed a lot of problems in about half an hour, and they didn't. Which is a very strange manoeuvre.
Are you saying that in the writer's room, like the time that they had to write this episode, they had an extra half hour, and Russell T Davies was like, no, we don't need it, let's go. Are you sure, Russell? Because we've got... No, it's fine. Come on, let's go.
Maybe. I mean, I've never met Russell T Davies or any of the Doctor Who writing team.
No,
indeed.
I haven't.
Perhaps that happened.
Maybe. Well, there you go. That was Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 3, Tooth and Claw. What's next? What's after this?
It's 2:04, Dan. That's what it is.
I feel a two-parter coming on. I might be wrong.
Episode School Reunion.
Oh shit, I got it wrong.
Sarah Jane Smith and the Krillitanes,
Yeah.
who are spooky.
The Krillitanes. The bat people. There you
I like the Krillitanes. They're good.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept that was never explored again. But there you go. We'll get to that. So yeah, let's do some shilling. Some lovely shilling. I'm on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K. Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I am on Twitter at LewisBrindley4. And I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley. And Danny, did you know that the show actually has a Facebook page?
I did know that. I did.
Oh, did you? Well, you might also be interested that I supplant that knowledge by saying that the Facebook page is called Shouting Into the Void.
Oh, I didn't.
Just like the show is.
I didn't know what it was called.
Oh, I said, wow. So you can go and check out the Facebook page and do some posting and messaging and liking and unliking and angry emojis.
No. What are you doing? Stop encouraging them to hate us.
But go and check out the Facebook page anyway. Give us a cheeky follow, which you'll be perfectly up to date on all of your Shouting Into the Void news.
Yes. We are on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel, we're on Deezer, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts, we have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated. We also have Patreon, and we want to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons, Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
And of course Richard.
Thank you, one and all. You mean the absolute world, and enable us to keep making this podcast. It means the world. Thank you.
You certainly do. We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell totes, we sell totes, we sell tote bags, we sell jumpers, we sell t-shirts, we sell mugs, we sell stickers, we sell all sorts of stuff. So go on, have a look, see what tickles your fancy, and if nothing does, just have a look anyway.
Yes, we have plenty of things that you will like, so have a look.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with a amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis is going to say some very nice things about them, all of which are 100% accurate.
Indeed I am. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my wife where she crochets things, and she's very good at it. We're in the run-up to Christmas currently, and she can make a large number of Christmas-based things, which is what she's currently doing. Go and check out the Instagram to take a look. It's at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It is letters and words, not punctuation, not numbers. So go and check out the Instagram, have a look, have a follow, have a like, take a look. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there you go. That's Doctor Who. Season 2, Episode 3, and we shall see you, smell you, bite you and infect your bloodline to take over the world. Next time.
We will infect your bloodline with confusing aims that don't really make any sense when you really think about it in context. Thank you.
Yes. See you then.
Bye.
Goodbye.